Love is a beautiful thing. Trust is all we need, eh? Though it is so lucky now, but I'm still waiting. When I do, I'll pay my dues and set to say I do. I'll give it up to you, cause everything I will do. What a girl's like a million. They just want my million in you. I'ma put on my billion love. I'll put my love in one basket. You're all that I have now. There's no one else. So
you see, for a lot of people, if you look around you, you see how all of these things are being sold everywhere. How to have a big penis, how to have a sweet vagina, how to have a tight vagina, how to last longer in bed. People are selling all sort of things. My darling, if you like, buy Kayamata from here till tomorrow. All this, your vagina will be slimy, will be slippery. They are just deceiving you. It takes more than the vagina to make love. The vagina is just one part of love making. Love making involves, making love to a woman from the crown of her head to the sole of her feet. The same thing it is with a man. So you see, buying all the gbogbo tigbo in the name of sweet vagina, when you do not know how to make love, what has your sweet vagina now got to do with it? So, what am I trying to say? Work on your skills. Improve on your skills. Learn to make love. Talk to a sex therapist. Communicate with your partner. Those are the things that work. Not spending 20 hours or 15 hours in the process of love making. You are jerking up and down, and the person you are even making love to is wishing, oh God, I just wish it can stop. All right, my name is Dr. Tolu, and I will be starting tonight's show on that thought. People call me the fixer, and this is Intimacy Clinic with Dr. Tolu, where I talk about relationship, marriage, sex, and mental health, where I help you to resolve all your deep intimacy issues that you cannot even talk to anybody about. At Intimacy Clinic, there's always a shoulder to lean on. Welcome to my show tonight.
Intimacy Clinic. Love lives here. Right here.
All right, welcome to Intimacy Clinic with Dr. Tolu. And tonight, I will be talking about how to have a better sex life. If you have been following this show, I have been talking about possible reasons you could be in a sexless marriage. Whether you are in a relationship, whether you are dating, whether you are married, but if you are sexually active and then you want to get better, tonight's topic is for you. So how to have a better sex life? The first point I will be talking about is to stop body shaming yourself. Be proud of yourself. Wear a good dose of self-esteem. As much as it is not in my place to judge anybody or tell anybody what to do, if you think getting a bigger bum bum or a flatter tummy or removing your rib or having breast work is what is going to make you to feel good about yourself, you are joking. Now, it's not to say that it's a bad thing to do all of those things if it's something you want to do, but it's not going to make you feel better. If you cannot feel good about yourself, surgery is not going to do it because it's all in your psyche. For a lot of couples, the reason why you are not having sex is because you are not proud of yourself. I'm not beautiful enough. My penis, especially for the men. Why, all of you that are writing to me, Dr. Tolu, what can I use to increase the size of my penis? Doctor, please, stop it. Size is not as important as skills. All right? Learn how to use what you have. Learn how to use what you have. Stop body shaming yourself. Stop thinking there is something you need to use you need something to add something before you can have sex. That's the reason why you are gradually slipping into a sexless marriage. You are just good the way you are. See, haven't you seen people see people anyway? We say that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder anyway. But haven't you seen people that we consider to be seemingly ugly when they package themselves? In fact, the way they will up, you will think they are the Miss World of this whole world. Like the way you see them packaging themselves. Well, you, just because your tummy is big, you think that's the end of the world, or because your breast is small, or you don't have big bum bum, my darling. You are beautiful just the way you are. You are just okay the way you are, Oga. I'm not using this. This point is not to tell you not to get better or work on yourself if there are things you could do. But while you are at it, don't body shame yourself. Maybe your partner even made maybe a very silly or insensitive comments about your sexuality. And that is now making you to be thinking you couldn't sleep. That's the only thing you think about. And this is the reason why I usually tell women, especially women, if you want to pass a message across to your partner, especially when it has to do with his sexuality, be careful. Because if you just say, oh, you that your penis is like spaghetti, or you that you are like Indomie noodles, you cannot last more than 2 minutes. If you say it, he might not get over it for the rest of his life. Even when you try to convince him you are joking, you don't mean it, it gets stuck there. So if you even, I'm not saying you don't pass your message across, that's not the point, but find a way to pass it across. That's one. And secondly, please, take a good dose of self-esteem. Go and learn the skill of lovemaking. If you need help, book appointment with Dr. Tolu. And then make love the way you should. And stop thinking until you add bum bum, or until you add breast, until you add something to your penis. That's my first point. Secondly, how to have a better sex life or how to come out of a sexless marriage is to be open about your needs. See, especially women, your partner is not a magician. He cannot read your mind. As much as we expect partners to be sensitive, you want to watch body languages, you want to watch what your partner is doing when they are making love, notwithstanding. Can you just be open? Can you save him the stress of trying to guess, should I touch the breast now? Or should I finger her? Can you just be open? Why can't you say it? I mean, a lot of women come to me and be like, Dr. Tolu, I don't know how to say it. At a point, I was actually teaching some women how to moan while making love. They don't even know how to. It makes them to feel ashamed. I don't understand. So you see, this act of dying in silence, I call it conspiracy of silence when it comes to love making in this part of the world, will not help you unless you have alternative. And that is why a lot of you are cheating on your spouses. Because when you go out, you are going to turn to a lion, but when you come back home, you become a cat. It doesn't work that way. Make your needs known. Be open. Tell your partner about your fantasies. If you have fantasies, no matter how weird. In fact, let me say this. For a lot of couples, the reason why you are not having sex in your marriage is because before you got married, you didn't discuss your fantasy. People have weird fantasies. Let me just tell you that. I mean, like I said last week, there is a thin line between kink and paraphilia. People have different kind of paraphilic disorders, different kind of weird things that turn them on when it comes to sex. Does it make them bad people? No. But they have to be with a partner who is also liking the same thing they are liking. If somebody said the only thing that turned me on is think of something like cuckolding. People that want to sit and watch another man or another woman having sex with their partner before they can get turned on. Sex is deep, really. A lot of things are happening. Interesting thing is that Nigerians are doing this thing. We used to say it's Oyibo things, Oyibo. The only thing about Oyibo is they are open. They come out and say it the way it is. But here, we are so pretentious. So, like I said, be open. If you have kink, if you like group sex, if it's fire that turn you on, if it is so people, a bee sting is what turns them on. If that is what turns you on, it's okay now. But please make sure you let the other party know before you go into, so that they will know what they are going into. You see all this secrecy and hide and seek, it's just crazy here. People hide under the disguise of religion and then bring another party into their fantasies, and then they get into marriage, they start struggling. Be open. Tell your husband, tell your wife, this is the way I like to be made love to. I like this style. Can you do it this way? Can you turn me this way? Can you move me this way? Instead of just looking for what is not lost. Be open about your need. You want your marriage to move from sexless to a better one. Be open about your need. It doesn't make you a bad person anyway. Funny enough, that's what the man even wants, especially for the women that are trying to be good girls. See, against what your mama told you, men don't like good girls. Especially when it comes to sex. All right?
Welcome to the Institute of Counseling in Nigeria, the first counseling institute in Africa, leading the crusade of mental wellness to keep the society sane and productive. The institute uses a professional, non-discriminatory policy to educate all through our training and intervention programs. We train and certify clinical counselors and psychotherapists, companies and organizations for optimum performance, HR personnel with counseling skill for better human management, schools and church counselors to practice like professionals. Counseling is the new generational skill for helping people to be their best version and organizations for maximum performance. Institute of Counseling in Nigeria, changing lives, building dreams. Contact 10 Sumbo Jibowu Street, off Riabdu Road, off Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos, 0909-481-2983, or visit their website at www.instituteofcounselingng.org.
It is still Intimacy Clinic with Dr. Tolu, and I'm talking about how to fix a sexless marriage or how to have a better sex life tonight. And my next point is to forget about the kids for once. For so many of you, the day you started having babies was the day you stopped making love. For so many of you, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, they are still sleeping in between you on your bed. Like, who does that? You train your babies, and that's what Oyibo people does. You train your baby from the beginning, from day one, how to sleep on their own. And then you put your baby between the two of you till till sex stop working in your marriage. Forget about the kids. For so many of you, my daughter will heal, my son will heal, even if you have all these spoilers as children, it's the time that you want to stay together, they will go and knock the door. Mommy, open the door. Even if you have those kind of children, find a way around it. Find a way to balance things. Forget about the kids and take care of your union for once if you want to have a better sex life. If you have to take them out so that you can spice things up once in a while, keep them with your parents, keep them with a friend, and then just concentrate on your marriage for once. And then my next point is to practice touching. Hey, how do I even overemphasize this? Touch yourself. Make both sexual and non-sexual contact. The problem with this is, for a lot of African men, like, romance is not our thing in Africa. That's why when you see people celebrating Valentine, I laugh. Everything Oyibo bring, we just collect it without putting measures in place. We are just floating. Let me not even deal with that. But the point is, romance is not really our thing. And that makes it difficult for a lot of couples to touch. You don't touch. You cannot smack your wife's ass when you are passing. You cannot grab your husband from the back. You cannot peck him on the neck. You don't make bodily contact. And then you want to be having sex. It's like moving from 0 to 100 whenever you want to have sex. It won't work. Learn to touch. Learn to have bodily contact. Make both sexual and not sexual contact as a couple. See, when couples come to me for sexual issues, a lot of time their sexual problem is secondary. The primary problem they are having is the fact that they've drifted apart emotionally. So there is no connection. In fact, for a lot of people, when you want to have, there's difference between making love and having sex. Reason why a lot of couples cannot have sex, like have quickie, is because, they have drifted apart emotionally. So there's nothing to leverage on when you want to just make love on the go. You have nothing to leverage on. Your emotional vacuum is so wide, So you want to build sex in your union. The right thing to do is to build emotional intimacy. Like I said, for so many people that are in sexless marriages, your sex problem is secondary. The primary problem is emotional, is emotional problem. You've drifted apart. You're not even connecting. And emotional connecting is more like building romance. It's like building intimacy. Psychologically, mentally, intellectually, you are connected. You are flowing. You feel like this person have my back. You feel like you can rest and, you can be very vulnerable with this person. A lot of couples are not in that situation. Too many secrets in marriage. So you want to fix sex in your union, my darling, you need to connect emotionally.
Intimacy Clinic. Love lives here. Right here.
All right, it is still Intimacy Clinic with Dr. Tolu, and I've been talking about how to spice up a sexless marriage. And the next point I want to talk about is to prepare your partner's mind in a naughty way. All right? So for a lot of people in this part of the world, they are doing it with their mistresses, boyfriends, girlfriends, married people. I don't even get it. You can pick your phone and say, oh, baby, have you eaten? Can you see the sexy bra that I just bought? You can do it to your boyfriend. You can't do it to your husband. How? A lot of couples are like, if I try with my husband, we say, where did you see it? I listened to it in Dr. Tolu's show. That's a very good way to say. So for so many of you, sex does not start at that point of lovemaking. It doesn't start at that point. It starts from the way you say good morning in the morning, the way you say goodbye, the way you send romantic text messages as a wife. Why, even at your office, why can't you go into the bathroom and just snap yourself something sexy? You don't really need to bring out your breast anyway. Maybe you are wearing a sexy, lacy bra, especially the ones that are colorful. Men are moved by color on the waist. They love it. Their brain turns up when they see it, whether they know consciously or unconsciously. So you have something like that. Maybe you are wearing a red bra, a red lacy bra. You just snap it and send it to him in the office. He will not even be able to concentrate for the rest of the day. Isn't that what those guests are doing to him? That is not making him to come home on time. And it's vice versa. It's not just about the woman. Men too. Send romantic text message. Say, baby, I'm just horny thinking about the way we made love 2 days ago. Can we do it again today? Connect, open up. Prepare your partner's mind. There's a way you prepare your partner's mind that before they even get to you, you have built that sexual energy and you are able to connect just like this. And another point for those that are trying to spice things up in your marriage is to use lubricants. Make lubricants handy. Make lubricants your friend. Whether it's by age, by menopause, or by vaginismus, sexual dysfunction, or by whatever kind of problem that you are having. Maybe in the process of trying to fix it, especially for the women, you are still gradually, trying to build yourself back emotionally. Use lubricants. If you cannot get wet so easily, use lubricant. Make lubricants your friend.
Welcome to the Institute of Counseling in Nigeria, the first counseling institute in Africa, leading the crusade of mental wellness to keep the society sane and productive. The institute uses a professional, non-discriminatory policy to educate all through her training and intervention programs. We train and certify clinical counselors and psychotherapists, companies and organizations for optimum performance, HR personnel with counseling skill for better human management, schools and church counselors to practice like professionals. Counseling is the new generational skill for helping people to be their best version and organizations for maximum performance. Institute of Counseling in Nigeria, changing lives, building dreams. Contact 10 Sumbo Jibowu Street, off Riabdu Road, off Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos, 0909-481-2983, or visit their website at www.instituteofcounselingng.org.
All right, welcome back to Intimacy Clinic with Dr. Tolu. And I have been talking about how to have a better sex life or fix your sexless relationship. And my final point tonight is be creative. Be a romantic creative. Bring in new things. Use sex toys if you have to. I have a lot of couples that say, oh, Dr. Tolu, if I see sex toys with my wife, my penis will not work. I don't understand. Use it to spice things up now. Introduce this to your lovemaking if it's going to make you feel better. Take lovemaking away from the bedroom. Have destination lovemaking. You know, do it differently from the way you've been doing it before. Be creative. There are more than 200 different types of sex styles. And you have been doing only one for 15 years. Come on now. Try something different. Stop doing missionary style. Come on now. Try something different. You have shower sex. Have it on the ground, on your staircase, on your freezer. You know, just be creative. Try new things. Introduce toppings. Introduce food. Edibles. You know, it will make things to, you know, it will help you to spice things up and, you know, remove the boredom and even bring back the spark. All right? So I just hope you've been able to find few points useful on tonight's episode, and I hope you can stop being in a sexless marriage after tonight's episode. I will be right back in a moment.
Intimacy Clinic. Love lives here. Right here.
What's your name, please?
My name is Benedict Otubaku.
Okay, sir. So, who should propose, a man or a woman?
I think it's a man that is supposed to propose to a woman. Even in the Bible, it is written that the man is the head of the family. So therefore, I think and I believe that it is a man who is supposed to propose to a woman, not a woman to propose to a man. But if a woman should propose to a woman, though it's not bad, okay, but it depends on individual differences or ability that you have. Because so you can see a lady can like a guy, maybe because of one thing will make her to say, okay, let me propose to this man. And then I think there's nothing wrong about that.
Wrong.
But normally I think it is a man that is supposed to propose to a woman.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
It's time to ask the fixer. Ask the fixer.
All right, welcome back to Intimacy Clinic with Dr. Tolu, and it is Ask the Fixer time. Remember, you can always send me your questions and I will give you first-hand professional solution to your intimacy issues. My question tonight is from David from Abuja. David says, Dr. Tolu, why is it so hard for me to sleep at night if I didn't have sex before bed? Just a round of sex, I will sleep well till morning. But if I didn't all night, I won't have a good night's rest. What should I do over this condition? The question I will ask you is, David, are you busy? Are you even busy at all? Let me just start from there. Now, there's a thin line between liking sex and being sexually and being addicted to sex. I hope you guys know that there is something like sex addiction, right? So I just want to be sure. Maybe probably what I will say is probably send you for psychological test and see if you have sex addiction problem, because if you cannot sleep until you have sex, I think that is a problem, because it is not every day you will be having. What if you travel? What if you are not with your partner? What if you are sick? Like, you cannot, anything that could make you not to be able to function optimally and take charge of your life is gradually become, is one of the characteristics of a dysfunction. So I would not be surprised if you are sexually addicted, but I would say go and run a psychological test to find out if you are sexually addicted. But I do not think this is the right thing. As much as sex is good, it makes you feel good, it makes you feel well, sleep well, because it releases a lot of feel-good hormones into your system. But notwithstanding, you cannot say you can't sleep if you don't have sex. I think you need to talk to a sex therapist, and I might be able to help you. All right, and that will be all on tonight's episode of Intimacy Clinic with The Fixer. And before I go, here is my food for thought for tonight.
Here is food for thought. Food for thought.
My food for thought for tonight. The key to a great marriage or relationship is to keep the fight clean and the sex dirty. Thank you for joining The Fixer tonight. I'm going to see you on the next episode of Intimacy Clinic with Dr. Tolu. Have a sex-full night. Bye-bye.